Oh my days. So a while ago when I made that video I said if it gets 100 likes I will do a tutorial, and I didn't think that would happen. Well, I'm a man of my word. Alright, so PewDiePie meme review tutorial on drums. Let's get into it. I'll keep it short and sweet. So, this is a pretty easy tutorial. It's a fairly short little riff and you only really need 3 pieces of a drum kit to play it. Hell, you don't even need a drum kit, you could use a suitcase. So let's get the kit set up. Okay, to prove that you don't need much for this, let's take some items from here and put it over there, like this. Bingo, there we go. 3-piece kit, all you need is a bass drum, a snare and a hi-hat. And let's get into some of the details. Okay, so this pattern itself is actually a computerized program done on like a drum pad or just programmed straight in. It's electronic. So to play it acoustically, there's a few things we need to do to the drum kit to make it sound as close as it will get. Okay, so number one being, you want to turn your hi-hat off. Make sure it's loose, put it up high, and then you want to put your foot as hard as you can down so you get a very, very tight hi-hat feel. Like that. You want to be as tight as possible. And number 2, you want to muffle your snare. So when I go busking, usually take a book with me. When I play jazz, I like a bit of a loud snare. Allows me more tonality, whereas if I put this book on it, and a bit of duct tape as well, it completely muffles the snare. Can't get as much range and tonality from the skin head itself because you've muffled it. Now you can get moon gel or plastic rings which go around the kit. You can get them on Amazon. I'll put links in the description. I've personally never used them, mostly because I just figured you can get the same result with a bit of duct tape and a book, but hey ho. Last but not least, I like to put a towel in front of my bass drum just to give it a bit of a muffled sound. Whereas if I take it off, it's a bit more boomy. It's a bit more punchy, which is why I put a towel there. I actually have the towel there constantly, even when I'm playing some jazz, because I like to alternate it. If I'm doing like a set of like some very traditional jazz and then I mix it up with a bit of funk, I still want to have, you know, a good all-round bass drum without having to fiddle about. Alright, so I'm going to play it for you now. This is what it sounds like, and this is what I'm going to work towards. I'm going to use my phone to make sure I've got the music and I'm going to play it 100% right. Okay. There we go, something like that. So I hope you let me off for that. I was using the video that I put on my Instagram of me playing it. I was playing along to that, which is a bit hard, because the actual video and the music I recorded and put it onto my iPad I deleted because I wiped it because of my trip in Vietnam. Anyway, now let's get into the basics of how to actually play it, the tutorial part of it. So, the type of genre that this music falls into is drum and bass. Now, drum and bass is a very fast form of drumming, and essentially it's just a straight 8 with lots of fancy decoration thrown in. So, for the premises of this video, I'm just quickly going to go over what a straight 8 is, decoration, and then building up to the actual tutorial of it itself. Okay, so I'm not going to go over essentially what a straight 8 is. I'm going to assume you already know it. If you don't, let me know in the comments and I'll make a tutorial about how to play a straight 8. A straight 8 sounds like this. It makes up 90% of modern day rock, indie, pop music, and that's the foundation of most modern songs. Now, you can develop a straight 8 to the point where it becomes a bit more interesting by adding decoration. Now, think of a straight 8 as your Christmas tree, and things like the offbeat snare and the offbeat bass are decoration. So the offbeat snare sounds like this, and the offbeat bass sounds like... Okay? It doesn't really matter if it's perfect or not. It just means that the snare and or bass are in between the hi-hats. Because these are playing quaver time or, I'm not sure, 8th note time, I don't know what the Americans call it. Okay? So that's keeping the time. Anything that's not with it is offbeat. Okay, so now once you've got a straight 8, nice and comfortable, and you've got a bit of decoration in there, and you've got comfortable playing decoration, you've just got to work at building it up to speed, and the only way you do that is just by practicing, and you build your speed up slowly. So for example, I'm just going to play a bit of a straight 8 with some decoration, and slowly build it up. you're going to be wondering, I can't play that fast. How do I play that fast? It is just practice. That's all it is. People say, oh, you're really talented at the drums. How do you do it? Or you're so talented at go-karting. All it is practice. There's no such thing as talent, in my opinion. It is just practice. So there's a saying that music talent is just music practice in disguise. And that's all it is. It's just, I've sat at this kit for months, years on end, just playing stuff over and over to the point where I can now play this very comfortably at very fast speeds. Now, once you've got it at a fast speed, that's when you can actually look at the music itself of what the mean review is. So I didn't write any music out for this, I just listened to it by ear and worked it out through trial and error. That's a process called transcribing, but I didn't write it down, so technically it doesn't count, but whatever. If you want the music for it, I will write it out for you and just contact me via my Instagram or leave a comment and I'll probably reply. Instagram's probably a better, safer option because I'll reply to all my messages on there. Cool. So let's look at the first bit of what the mean review is. Okay, so this is bar 1, and this is how the piece starts. So you start off with a simple straight 8 there, bumped, bat. And then on the 3 and, it's ba, bum. And on the and of 3, there's a bass drum. There's nothing on the 4, and there's a snare and a hi-hat on the 4 and. So it's bumped, bat, ba, bumped, ba. So that sounds like on the drums. Sorry. On the drums, it sounds like... Okay, so this is bar 2. Please bear in mind, this may be wrong because I'm transcribing this from memory. Because I don't have any Wi-Fi, so I'm just kind of going with what's in my head. So it starts off with an offbeat snare, and it on the 1 and, so it's 1 E and, 1 E and. So on the and of 1 here, there's a bass drum, dippy dum, and then on the 2, there's a snare and a hi-hat, dippy dum ba, t, and there's a tap. Now that's an important bit, because this note then ties into the rest of that offbeat snare here, which is dippy dum ba dippa dippy dum dee ba dee bee dum dippa dippy dum dippa dippy dum, right? Bumped ba ticka ticky bum ba dippa dum. So this snare here, I actually missed out. I've already recorded this once. I realised I missed it out. That is important because that ties you into bar 3. So if I played you what I've just written there on the kit, feel free to screenshot it or whatever. It's now let's go into bar 3. This is bar 3. So with the lead in from bar 2, with the last on the 4 and, there's a 4 E, because it's a hi-hat and a snare. It goes dibba dum dum. But then there's a bit of a gap because you've got another quaver there. So it's dibba dum dum ba. Dibba, so with a lead in, dibba dum dum ba dum dum ba. And then it's straight in with a half offbeat snare, with just the hi-hat and the snare there. Dibba dum dum ba dibba dum ba. With a heavy punch in on the 3 and. With the bass, and then like with bar 2, it finishes the same with a tibit, and that takes you into bar 4 with the first sort of clappy, sort of stop time. So now we're going to go into bar 4, and we're going to remember this lead, and like we had in bar 2, again, it's important in bar 3. So bar 4, let's go. Okay, so I think this is bar 4. I mean, I am transcribing this from memory. I'm not sure. This was actually really hard for me to write out. So it starts off the song with bar 3 with ba dum dum ba dibba dum dum ba dibba da. So that's do, and you buzz it. So you get dum ba dibba ba. I'm not sure if that's a triplet, but I can't be asked to work it out. And then you've got the lead in like you have with bar 2 and 3, taking you into the next bar, which is bar 5. So if I play this, it should be... And that bass drum I played there was the start of bar 5. So again... So I think that's correct. Okay, so this is bar 5. So it's the start of the second section, because I think this whole thing's 8 bars. I haven't counted, sue me. Anyway, so it's the exact same. It's the same as 1. It's the same as bar 1. The only difference is, instead of it just being one bass drum here, it's a double, okay? So, it's really not that different. So bar 1 is, okay? Bar 5 is, it's a double bass drum at the start. Sorry. All right, let's go to bar 6. So this is bar 6, and it is exactly the same as bar 2 in every single sense. So yeah, I've written out again, despite this, but bar 6 is exactly the same as bar 2. And just to jog your memory, it sounds like... slower. Ah. There we go. I actually struggle playing things slower than I do faster. Moving on, bar 7, I can't count. This is bar 7, and it is exactly the same as bar 3. So bar 6 is the same as 2, bar 7 is the same as 3, and bar 5 is almost similar to 1, except there's just double bass drum, okay? Finally, that takes us to the last bar, which is bar 8. Bar 8 start, bada bing, this is the half the bit, so that's 1 and 2, and so the first 2 beats are the same as bar 4. The only exception is there's the big mean review sort of sound at the end, in which there's the clap. But you can play the clap however you want. You could go back to back like I do in bar 4, or what I do is throw the sticks and then clap. So the ending is clap, bam, clap, clap. All right. I wouldn't advise doing the clap because you've got to throw your sticks. But yeah, that's all the music. That's mean review. And once you tie it all together and get it perfect, it should sound something like this. Bum, bum. All right. Okay, so my camera's on 15%, so I better wrap this up pretty quickly. So this may not be 100% correct because I've transcribed most of it from memory, so forgive me. If you want the sheet music, just DM me on my Instagram, I'll put it in the links below, and I will write it out for you when I find time. I've done that already for the other music tutorials I've done. People have got in contact and said, can you write the music out? I've done so. Anyway, yeah, if you made it to the end, I really don't know how long this video is going to be. I try to make it as short as possible, but yeah. That's the meme review on drums. Thank you very much for watching, and please stick around for more crap content. See you later, party people.